some brake rotors on the rear of a Ford E350 E-Series van. This is a 2007 model. Yep, just wanted to say that. And first thing we're gonna do to start the process is pop the hood and relieve the cap for the brake fluid. Take the cap off the brake fluid so we can force some of the fluid back. This is like I said, this is a 2007 model, and I want to note that all of the brakes seem to be the same. I mean, the rear rotors seem to be the same on the disc brake rear ends of the Fords, the Dana rear ends. So right now we have rotors from a 1999 on a 2007. Regardless of Vance track, regardless of all the traction control, and regardless of the damn it, what's the anti-skid bull crap that they use on vehicles today that I hate? Anti-lock. Yeah. What the hell? Anti-lock brakes. So regardless of anti-lock brakes, the rotors all seem to be the same as long as it's for an E-Series. An E-Series van, most Super Duty E-Series vans, minus the cutaway and minus the dually.
Strip chassis and all that.
But all of the regular E-Series vans all take the same lug pattern. Thank goodness. From 92 all the way up, probably even lower than that, all the way in the 80s and in the 70s.
8x6.5.
They all take the 8x6.5. Not to be confused with the 8x.
I think it's 170.
170.
I think that's the Super Duty lug pattern for the
That's
trucks.
the Ford truck pattern, which changed in around 2000, the year 2000. Before that, they all used the standard lug pattern for the E-Series. Now, the E-Series kept their standard lug pattern, American lug pattern, which is great. Dodge uses it, Ford uses it, Chevys use it. It's all the standard 8.6.5 lug pattern. So that's just to clear up a little confusion about lug pattern. Something I wanted to state. Now, this is not just a common rotor change here. The reason I made this video is because we're going to put cross-drilled rotors on here. High-performance cross-drilled rotors. And for those of you who haven't seen this rim design before, that's because I did this. This is silver met paint on a factory rim. J1G silver met. Which is
Duplicolor.
From Duplicolor, or you can buy it in Ford's silver met. This is Ford's factory silver met. This is Duplicolor in a can, spray can, which is a lacquer paint and holds up just as long on a rim.
Just happened to match.
Right. So the center cap, the trim ring is a 2-inch or 1.75" stainless steel trim ring, and the center cap might look familiar. This is a mid-year Dodge center cap for like a 1999 to a 2003 Dodge center cap. This Dodge center cap has to be accommodated to hook right here by Dodge lug nuts, which is here. So you can see I got Dodge lug nuts shoved over Ford lug nuts.
With a washer in between.
With a washer spacer in between. The reason why I can't put the Dodge lug nuts, which are compatible, to go all the way up against the rim is because the center cap just simply isn't that deep. And I have to accommodate the full floating rear end hub. So it goes on just the right amount.
And presses on.
And presses on. Now the front's shallower, so I'm able to do that. But anyway, these are the standard. Oh, and this is Ford's logo sticker that you can buy, raised emblems. So nobody would know the wiser. They just say, hey, what's with the old style rims? Well, I don't like the average saw blade Ford hubcaps that's been out since 1992 or earlier possibly. that has that saw blade sticking out finish. They wobble too much, they fall off, they break, they crack, and people steal them. And nothing says average like that damn hubcap. So that's why I did this. And plus I like classic rim look. Anyway, so let's check out our, come on. Let's check out our parts that just came in today. Where did we get these guys from?
Kind of eBay.
Yeah, but I forgot the name of the seller because I bought...
Brake Motive, I think.
Brake Motive?
Yeah.
I've bought their rotors before. And here's their ceramic pads they have. They seem to be pretty good. I've used them before. That van over there, that 99 E series, has got full wheels.
All 4 rotors from the same company.
All 4 rotors are drilled and slotted. And it holds up a very, very long time. So I'm impressed. And it stops a lot better in the rain and long distances. In other words, if you need to come down to a quick stop, it retains or releases the heat. It doesn't retain the heat, it releases the heat so that you can continue to stop. So we'll take our rotors over here and we'll take a look at them. See what we're getting into. And I'm sure these rotors are directional, like we put on the other van. We're going to save our brakes for a later date. And like I said, all these rotors are the same for the rear. So that's good news. Got to make sure we don't get the coronavirus on our hands. All right.
The driver's side.
See, that's the driver's side.
Well, we just had them pick the right side.
Yeah. So take a look. Let's see what we got here. Now we paid around 90 bucks for 2 rotors and 2 pads. Maybe right under 100 bucks to have it shipped to the house. How you like that? And tell me you can find this at the auto parts store for that cheap. To get 4 ceramic pads, 2 rotors, driver and passenger side Pacific.
Cross-drilled and slotted.
They're cross-drilled and slotted. I think it's a pretty good deal. Like I said, I have them on the other van, the other E350 extended cargo, and I've put it through some abuse. This E350 here, passenger van, non-extended, should handle that just fine. Should hold up good, just fine with those rotors. So we'll pause the video, we'll get this wheel off, and we'll get all this started. See, we got the wheel off, got the rotor exposed and the caliper exposed. The pads on here are good, the ceramic pads. We just replaced them, and we put these used rotors on, thinking that maybe we'd get by. These used rotors off the other vehicle. One of them is warped. I think it's probably this one. It's got a few hot spots in it. Okay, it's hard to believe you get a rear warped rotor, but we think that's the case. Now we got these 2 bolts back here that we got to remove. Watch. First we got to remove the 2 nuts, and some vans have this bracket and some don't. And before we take the final bolts out here for the caliper bracket, we're not even going to remove the caliper. We're going to leave the caliper attached to the bracket. We're just going to remove the bracket so we can take this drum off, this brake rotor off, and drum and rotor combo. And your vehicle might have some of these clip rings. My best suggestion to you is don't try to reuse them. Just rip them off with a pair of needle nose, vice grips, whatever. Destroy them, get them off the vehicle, and get them out of the way. So deal with this. Hey, let's deal with this shit.
Huh.
Just went dark on it. Alright, so the next step here is to relieve some of the pressure on the brake pad so that you can accommodate the opening right here for the new rotor. Okay, so you want to put you want to separate your pads a little bit. Now the way to do that is you use these slots here. Okay, get yourself a nice big long pry bar or flat head that fits in there nicely, and you want to go at an angle like this. at an angle like this. So what you want to do is grab the inside of the rotor here on these slots. You don't want to grab on the brake pad and chip the brake pad all up or scratch all this up, even though we're not reusing these rotors. This counts also if you want to change your brake pads. This involves no release of the fluid. That means you don't have to bleed the brakes, okay? This is the easy way. So I'm going to get my roughly 45 degree angle. I got a good bite. Now I'm going to move it slowly. And I can feel the caliper moving. That means it's pushing all the fluid back into the reservoir up top under the hood. This is preserving fluid. This is also preventing me from opening a line right there and letting air in. And I don't want to do that because I'm not going to sit here and bleed the brakes for 40 minutes. If I want to change the fluid in this, I'll let it gravity bleed. Okay. Gravity bleeds something totally different. We'll let you know how to do that one day later. Everybody should know how to do brakes though, but maybe, you know, today's world, people don't know shit anymore, you know, so just want to kind of keep this stuff alive. Anyway, so we don't need to pull these pins. That removes this caliper from the housing. This is the steel housing. So is it 18 millimeter bolts back here?
Still 18, yeah.
Okay, so that's 18 millimeter bolts right here on this stud. This is a stud with a bolt, a nut attached.
So it's a whole stud that comes out of thing.
Right. And it's studded because it holds that rear bracket on, which is like a splash shield / protective shield on the caliper, which is right there on the ground. Okay, go ahead off with that one, if you can get in there with the impact. This is 18 mil.
Yeah.
There you go. Alright, and here's our brake caliper. Help me pick this caliper up and set it on this coffee can. Right here. Set it down on the coffee can. Alright, as you can see, our pads are new still. They're in great shape. And they're ceramic, so there's no reason in wasting those pads. So we're going to reuse them. I'm going to pull this off. Okay, put it on the ground here. Let's compare them. Let's take the new one here. Compare them in thickness. It's good. This was a new rotor that warped. And this was not from this company. This is one you get from the auto parts store, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, all that junk, the same old junk. Okay, and this is the one from, what was the name of it? Brake Motive on eBay. On eBay that we've gotten for the other vehicle. They made pretty well. Let's slap them on. Slap it on. Oh yeah, good fit. Good fit. Okay. Now let's go back on with this caliper. Caliper and bracket combined. Let's make sure our brakes have enough room. There we go. It's good. And you line up the holes. Tell me when you're lined up.
Go up a little bit.
Up. Kind of hard to hold this silly camera at the same time. It probably needs to come out just a little bit.
Hold on. Right there. Stay right there.
It's probably too close to the rotor.
Yeah, hold on. Right here, it's right there.
Whichever one you can get started first.
Got that one started.
Alright, grab the other ones right there by you. Okay?
Alright, there we go.
I'm going to torque this down to about, I don't know, just give it a good 80 foot-pounds. Not too tight.
Load number 1.
Well, that's for an impact, but 80 foot-pounds roughly. It doesn't matter. I mean, tighten it down with a good breaker bar. Tighten them down even. Do this one before you do that, and do them in sequence. Because there's a lot of rust in here and grit, and we didn't clean all this, so we want to make sure we crush it down even.
Probably about 80 right there.
Yep, do the bottom.
About 80.
Okay. Next,
Put
that shield on that bracket. 18 millimeter as well?
Yes.
Alright. You don't have to go as tight with that, just a couple of clicks. I imagine that's some type of anti-vibration plate as well. It probably keeps...
On.
What's going on?
30 threads.
Okay. Good.
There.
Okay. How's that?
That's good.
Alright, well that's pretty much almost it. We're gonna get the wheel back on and come back to you. Alright, so the torque on these lug nuts are between 120 and 140, believe it or not. Let me tighten them all up on 80. And what is the actual metric pattern as it relates to American? Because there's a lot of misconception online when you're looking for 8 6.5, and they're not telling you it's 8 6.5. They're telling you a metric pattern. So what is the metric pattern for this lug pattern?
Metric pattern is 8 by 165.1 millimeters. So there's
So 865.1 or 865.
8 by 165.1, yeah. If they have the 8 by 170, that's the Super Duty pattern.
Yeah, you're not going to get an 8.70.
8 by 170 is the wrong one. It's 8 by 165.1.
Right, which means that the Super Duty lug pattern comes out ever so slightly, a couple millimeters wider. So you'll find
Lugs don't match up.
Lugs won't match up. You'll have all kind of problems. So there's really only one rotor you can buy for this. It's just advertised a lot online and in different places.
Like Summit.
As it won't fit your truck. See, they said online that this was not compatible for our vehicle. These rotors were not compatible because of the lug pattern. But as you see, we just stuck them on. And there's nothing special. This is a factory rear end, a Dana 60.
It's the same diameter as the original rotors. There's a misconception there.
It's just an advertising glitch. Oh, those idiots who program eBay don't know what the hell they're doing. That's the problem with outsourcing. That's why we need educated United States citizens to run these programs. We need to bring everything back here to the US and be proud again of what we do and stop all this bullshit. You can't tell me there's any way that Gupta, sitting in a third world country with flies buzzing around his or her head, is actually going to take the time to figure out what a Ford lug pattern is, type it in correctly.
Ford American lug pattern.
Nobody like that cares. They're just sitting there collecting $1 an hour paycheck with a diaper on. So I'm trying to tell you, you're going to have to do your own research when it comes to this. But I'm doing it for you by telling you what to look for.
Well, yeah, where did those washers come from again? Ace?
What, these washers?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think we bought them from Tractor Supply.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody, would do this. This is my special application, unless they want to put Dodge center caps on a Ford truck. But you wouldn't have known it if I wouldn't have told you, or unless you owned a Dodge before. So, the unsuspecting public probably really doesn't look at your damn rims in the first place. But I do, so it's just what I like. It's a personal preference, in other words. So these are 13/16 lugs.
15/16.
15/16, sorry. The other, and by the way, these Dodge lugs are expensive.
$4 a piece.
Yeah, unless even when you try to get them wholesale, they're expensive. So just wanted to let you know that ahead of time. So I'm just going to give these a quick snug. There's nothing special about this. So we'll come back to you when we get these tightened down. Alright, so as you can see, the reason we had to use the Dodge center cap, lugs, is because it fits on that ring. And anybody who owned a Dodge center cap like this, even though this is an aftermarket center cap, it still mimics the Dodge center cap. We put weather strip adhesive dots on various locations where the plastic is molded over the steel band.
Rattles.
To stop rattles, okay? Now, this is kind of spring loaded a little bit, not much, it's just cheap metal. It's got a groove right here. That groove fits in the groove made on the lug nut of the Dodge lug nut. That is the purpose for these grooves. There's not a lot of information online about that, just a lot of...
Fits on very tight. It'll never come off.
Not if you do it right, it won't. And it won't be crooked and it won't spin funny. Okay. Now, even though mine protrudes out a little bit, it's fine. Now, I could have gotten center caps that actually sit out further than this, but I chose not to. Okay, center caps that sat out deeper, but they're black. You can always find them in black with the stupid Ram logo. I didn't want to do that, so I had to use the shallow caps. These are for like the 250s. So you look it up for a B250. 1999 B250, 2001 B250. This is the center cap you're going to find for it. These were the center caps that were meant for the rims with the little saw blade reliefs right here, factory steel wheels. This was the center cap that went on that, but now it's for my Ford, and with my Ford logo to accommodate it. So that's that. We're going to lower the vehicle and we're going to push the brake in and check it. Check our brake reservoir to see if it overflowed. No, it did not. That's good. We'll probably get in there and suck some of that down with a turkey baster or a suction device. What we want to do is apply pressure to the brake, get that caliper pushed down. It's on the back wheel if you want. Okay, we got fluid back to the wheel. We got a good hard brake pedal. Okay. Is it me or
Doing pretty good.
did that axle look bent?
Not the axle, just the tire looked a little unbalanced.
Yeah, that's because it's a Walmart tire, but you know what? At least it's made in America.
Yeah.
Dextro or whatever the name of that tire is supposed to be made in America. It's not, well, it's not made in China, put it to you that way. That's what I hear.
A road range E tire.
You never know. And this is just a little passenger van. It's not like I'm putting $500 tires a piece on here that are made in wherever Trump's wife's from. Where's that?
Slovakia.
Slovakia. Because I have those on the white van. Alright. What do we need to do now?
Do the other side.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well, and that's the end of this video. We just showed you how to do brakes really quickly on an E-Series and how to convert to and what the things to look out for on changing out your stock rotors with cross-drilled rotors. The advantages are probably in the mountains and probably for long stops, frequent stops, to cool the brakes down easier. And I was leery about them warping on me because I do a lot of starting and stopping, especially in the rain. So I wanted to know if they would warp. So I tried them out on the white van, did a test trial, and bought them from Brake Motive, and I had no problems. So, you know, after 20,000 miles on the other van, I say it's a good go. Alright, that's the end of the video.